Welcome to the Indy Investor Speakeasy, where a couple of us just kind of hang out, drink bourbon, and kind of talk Indy investing. And we'll have some guys from out of state talk about their business as well. I'm Brooks. I'm originally from Maryland, now a transplant in Indy. Moved out here in around 2018.
Nick, I'm a California transplant, turned Hoosier here in 2020.
I'm Randy. I've been living in the Indy area since 2011.
And we are Indy investors with hundreds of properties across all of our experience. We're hoping that we can help you in a real estate journey here in Indianapolis, Indiana, or
We're going to go over some of our backgrounds here in these first couple episodes, Nick, myself, and Randy. This time it's Randy's turn. Today we'll be interviewing him. So Randy, tell us a little bit about your background and how you kind of got into real estate and down here into the Indianapolis area.
Yeah, man. I graduated college in December of 2010, and that was down in Terre Haute, Indiana. I just knew that I did not want to stay there. Not much opportunity there. Job market was a little tough at that time, so I figured the next best thing was to move to the capital of Indiana, and just kind of moved to Indianapolis. No job in. So like I said, I have a finance degree, but no one was really hiring at the time. So I got into sales by joining a roofing company and kind of went door to door, kind of storm chased all that stuff. But I was really young, good money, so I didn't mind it at all. But if anyone knows anything about that industry, it's really filled with a lot of shaky people. And long story short, that job only lasted about a year and a half. So then after I kind of quit that job, I really didn't know what I wanted, but I needed to make money somehow so I could pay my rent. I just, whatever a typical 23-year-old would do, I went to school and I said, how do you make money fast? And first thing that popped up, well, a couple of things popped up, but one of the things that stood out to me was real estate wholesaling. And I'm pretty sure it was basically just a league, a coaching program. Landing page, whatever it was, but it caught my attention in the link. And then we signed up for this day seminar, how to learn how to wholesale and flip homes. The thing, I didn't have any experience or money at that time to get into homes, but I liked the idea of working for yourself, and just learning sales from the roofing company. I really liked that sales aspect of that role. So, I basically 2-day seminar, and then a buddy of mine said, hey, let's try this wholesale thing since you don't have to really get any money out of your pocket. And nothing about to analyze properties, what properties could rent for. I was basically just, winging it and hoping that I could do a deal. It took me months to a first deal. So I done it real quick. Yeah. Well, I mean,
Get rich quick.
I was under the impression that I could basically do a deal the next. Right? That's what happened to me. Definitely what, but a lot of it had to do with me not really knowing what to do. So did that, deal, and then that was for 1 year. And then I realized after making connections from buyers and agents that I would try to sell them. Mention your real estate license. You really want to kind of learn and take this to the next level. So being almost a yes man to a lot of things, I'm like, sure, let's do it. So got my license in 2013. From there, I pushed the wholesale stuff aside and went the route to be your traditional real estate. So, listing home and buyers on showings, on open houses.
so generally for homeowners, not for investors or anything like
Yeah, I didn't really touch the investing space at all, which I really regret to this day. I should have stayed in that niche. I just didn't know. I didn't know anything. I didn't know how powerful and how much business you could do working with, beat up homes. So, from 2013, probably 2017, 18, I was just in the realtor space, and was good at it. I enjoyed it. One thing I didn't enjoy so much about it was the emotional aspect of every transaction. When buyers miss out on loan or buyers, freaks them out and they want to cancel. It was a lot of work and time put into each transaction to sometimes never get paid and never close a deal. So, end of 2018, I decided, hey, I know how I got into real estate. Now what I know, I think I could be a really good wholesaler again, and know how to comp properties now, have experience in my belt. Reached back out to one of my connections I made in the beginning, and that was another company here in the Indy area. At that time, they were looking to bring on a new disposition manager, and again, didn't even think about it. I said, "Yep, I'll do it." Sign me. So I transferred my license over to them, and basically just took over selling their wholesale properties to off-market cash buyers, but also, agents to that cash buyers as well.
If I interject here, clarify for everybody here who might not be familiar, what is the difference between wholesaling and like traditional estate transactions? But necessarily nobody understands that distinction.
Yeah, for the most part, anyone doing a wholesale transaction, those are usually going to be off-market deals where you reach out to a seller, their property under contract, and then you're going to that contract and try to sell it to a cash buyer to close. And that's via an assignment. So that's how the wholesaler makes money. They get a property under contract for $100,000. They're going to assign it to another cash buyer for 110. But we're going to make $10,000 different. Very fast pace. And typically there's no inspections. And it's really a cash deal. On the flip side, a retail transaction, someone will list their home for sale. Obviously, there's going to be real estate agents involved. The buyer that comes going to be represented by another agent, and then you're going to have to go through traditional inspections. Most of the time, you're going to get some sort of financing, so that home will have to be appraised, and all that stuff has to clear out for that deal to closing. So the wholesale deal usually takes 7 to 14 days on average, and then retails can be like 30 to 45 days for that.
Right. Sorry, I interrupted you though. Back to 2018, you've got into the whole thing.
So, I got back into wholesaling, working for another local company as their disposition manager. I did that for 4 years, and lost count after 1,000 homes I sold, how many I've done. So, really grateful for that opportunity because it allowed me to constantly be doing different deals day in and day out. Met tons of new connections, people in my network now that I would have never met before. But had a lot of fun. It was awesome. And then earlier, a couple months ago, decided to kind of branch out on my own, partner here with Brooks. But basically doing the same thing, but just for us now, not working for someone else. And, it's the new chapter.
Fantastic. So with that in mind, obviously you're following the wholesale strategy now. Why is that a strategy that you think makes a lot of sense in the last couple of years and then today's market? Like why is that your strategy?
It's just personal preference. I think wholesale, you can wholesale in any market. Obviously, 2021, COVID year, there's a lot of people got into wholesaling because everyone was buying homes, money was cheap. But I just enjoy that part of it because I like making deals work. I like this, it's the thrill of putting a deal together for someone, Nick, like you, who wants to buy a house and hold that, but basically help you along your way, or whoever wants to buy from us, help them along their way and long-term goal. That stuff excites me. Talking to the sellers, I hear a lot of interesting stories, some good, some bad, but it's just the thrill of, making something out of nothing, pulling a deal out of thin air that was never there before, and win-win. My rate.
Gotcha.
Any other strategy you like to implement as well besides wholesale?
Myself, I have as much experience as Brooks and Nick, but for myself, I'm just, I like to keep it simple. For any rentals that cash flow in this market, I don't kind of tough. Yeah, kind of tough, but I like to play the long term game. That I did learn a few years back. That I would probably like to get into myself would be buying a home to basically create my own note to a buyer, basically seller finance that deal. Then a lot of people right now can't buy for a mortgage, and I think right now the market that market is actually going to be a really space to be in. So buying a home for cash and then seller financing it to a buyer right away, and just making that very, very passive income. The deed is in their name. No more being a landlord. It's just that month.
I think that's something that's worth digging into a little bit, the anatomy of the deal. Like, could be really, really cool. So buy a house, potentially cash, potentially financing it. How it works. You take possession of that home. Mm-hmm. You then sell that home to somebody else, and you then act as a bank. They qualify traditionally. They can't qualify with their local bank. You qualify them. Of the 8%, the current rate is you might charge 10, 12%, a little bit higher of a rate, and get into a home building equity. Yep. Your return there is between whatever that standard rate is and the rate that you're charging, in addition to whatever profit you made on sale. For 100 and you sold it for 120, and you $20,000. Totally be here by missing it.
No, that's pretty spot on. So yeah, I mean, ideally, for our market, best kind of like sweet spot to be in deals like that, or buying a home anywhere between, 50 to 80, and then selling that to someone who's going to buy it between 100 to 100. But can put anywhere between 30 to 50% down. I know it sounds like a lot, but, I mean, they have the cash. So it's in a situation where they have cash. They're very cash heavy. They just can't get a mortgage. Maybe they don't have, all the citizenship docs, or their credit's really bad. Whatever reason, they can't go to a bank and get a mortgage. They're willing to put that money down and also pay a 12% interest rate, because this is their only way to get home ownership. Now, when they buy a home like that, they're going to it up, so increase the value of that home for themselves. So it's really a win-win for them as well, because if they were go to refinance, they would have no problem having it appraised higher than what they bought it for, cash us out, and then that lower rate. But until then, they kind of, they're okay. It's a really, really cool. And then if you want to get kind of deeper into that, hold on to that note as the investor or the bank, or there's another world where you can sell that note to note buyers and basically get 90 to 90% of your money back. So you're still making a lot of money, and basically just flipping notes back.
That's another deep dive for another episode. On top of that, you don't even have to worry about anything that goes wrong in that house. Now is not your responsibility anymore. The buyer at that point defaults. I mean, the house just comes right back to you.
Yeah, it comes right back to us. And then like the vetting part's not hard at all. We just, you just get third party, underwriter, just the mortgage loan originator, fill an application, show some sort of income docs, and they'll approve them.
And another strategy I know that we've talked about on top of the wholesaling, which is kind of another, I guess, 2.0 on top of the wholesaling, is wholesaling. That's a strategy that you told me that you liked a lot as well, and one that Randy have actually done as well. So can you talk about that a little bit more as well?
Yeah. Wholesaling is basically taking that wholesale kind of style transaction, but you actually buy the house instead of assigning that house or assigning that contract to a buyer. You're going to take that house and anything as little as just clean it out and paint all the interior walls white. Basically, you want to put, as little money as possible into that property and just go around and just flip it and put it right back on the market. The reason that we do that is because sometimes there's not a lot of homes that are good enough of a wholesale where someone needs to make a spread, want to buy that at the price. However, there's people that will buy it who live, and they're okay with buying a home that may need between $10,000 to $20,000 worth of work they can do on their own. And again, when they do that, they'll increase that equity. But yeah, wholesaling in a nutshell is just actually the title, cleaning it out, listing it, and so on.
Awesome. I know there's a couple other strategies we want to go into, but those were kind of the main ones. So on top of that, I guess, what was your biggest mindset shift? Did you realize, I know you went into it a little bit from the retail side, getting back into the investing side, but what was that mindset shift that kind of was your aha moment to dive back into the investing side?
After I learned how, like, the ins and outs of just how real estate transactions work, and I saw property values go up every year, I thought there was a lot of opportunities to really good deals where they can almost get appreciation. So I just thought about how many leads I probably passed up at real estate because there were like homes that needed work. I'm going to list that because I don't want to deal with the inspection. Well, that could have been a great wholesale deal for somebody's. I kind of looked back at where the market was going up. There was still a lot of homes that needed seeing out there. So I was like, this could be an easy play there.
Awesome.
In mind, what is your biggest mistake made so far in your journey?
Oh, I don't have two stories on the personal side. I would just say just buying properties. Always, I got it in 2000 every year, the market. And I've just, so never had the mindset of, hey, the market can turn around in anything, because I just never, but when it did, towards the end of 2022, I was definitely handling a lot of properties that we bought way too high that we moved, and then we just either broke even on them when we sold them, or fortunately took some losses on them. So I would say that would be the biggest mistake that I've personally been. Or
I think we've all made that mistake before, and if you haven't, you're going to at some point.
you got to constantly pay attention now where that market's going. There's a lot of that go into making sure that you're not going to, make a bad purchase. Just see where rates are going and see if homes are sitting or are they selling, what price point. I never really thought about that stuff.
That was kind of a crazy time there for a little while. What would you say, and we talked about what you're doing now, what are some of your long-term goals here? Investing field, Indianapolis market.
So I bought a few rentals here in Indy. Slowly going to transition of that. Just I like to invest in where I live, and I don't have in Indy, but I mean like the community where I spend most of my time. So I live in a small town just north of Indianapolis, and I would like to start, providing housing out there for people that need places to rent. Wouldn't mind getting into maybe some commercial stuff out there as well. Just into some of those business buildings, multifamily. There's some small, like 8 to 10 unit buildings out there. Would like to put my hands on some of that, but, I think I would get better joy on seeing what my investments are doing for somebody. Like if they're in my, so that's kind of like my short and long goal one, but where I'm at.
Fantastic. Well, I think that's a really good starting point here to understand where you're at, what you're looking to be doing, and I'm sure you'll be on several of these here in not too distant future.
I'd love to knocking out some shows here.
Sounds good. with that, we'll kind of end this one here. And if he's looking to reach out to you, Randy, where can they get a hold of you?
Yeah, email invest. It's Randy at or
Fantastic. For anyone looking for a real estate community to answer their questions or for anything like that, feel free to reach out to me, Nick at offleashinvestments.com. Forward to helping everybody here. Look forward to catching you on the next one.